Hello there and welcome back. Today we talk about my live improvisation system. I would like to walk you through the way I manage my instrument on a live situation and how I start with a blank sequencer and just build up my live show step by step. So I come from playing in band, metal, rock music, and I used to sing and play guitar. So my struggle with electronic music has always been how I can bring that feeling of playing an instrument on a stage. Initially, when I used to do my first electronic music live set, I used to just use stems of my song, and in the end that was just juggling with the volume on a mixer, had some effects on top of it, but it really gave me the excitement of playing. It felt a little like cheating. I feel that every musician and every performer has a different way of how they would like to be on a stage. It's important to me to find what is your way to communicate, what is your what you want to finally express on a stage. To me, was really to have risk, to go on a stage mostly unprepared, knowing that I mastered this instrument, I know how they work, and so I will just express myself in that particular moment, and that will be a unique performance. So I find out that improvising, it's possible, as long as, of course, you have a technical setup, and then you need to take the risk, you need to be, let's say, I wouldn't say brave, but that's how it felt initially. It's like I need to be brave enough to embrace the fact that my setup tonight might suck because I don't know where I'm going, I don't know what's gonna be. I think though that audience really like when an artist is risking on stage. I feel that eventually that the uniqueness of a performance is what I'm more interested. It's like seeing how this artist will manage if it take enough risk and something goes not in the way you wanted. So I'm gonna walk you through my setup on the Octatrack. I did already a video about my general setup and what I'm using, but today I just focus on the Perfourmer and the Octatrack so you can see how I can easily build things on the fly. Okay, let's start. So let's just go on a new pattern that is blank. Okay, quick introduction on how I'm using my tracks here. I have track 1 and track 3 that are through machine, and usually you split the Perfourmer into channel. So track 1 and track 2 basically are my input A, and it's basically these two channels that I pan hard left, while track 3 and 4 are these other two channels, all right? Then I have track 5 and track 6 to play sample. Track 7 is a resampler, so basically it will listen what's happening inside the Octatrack and it will resample it. And it's fun to have weird, on-the-fly thing. Track 8 is my master. That actually right now I'm using as another track. Sometimes I use it as a master, sometimes I use it as a track. It all depends on what I really want to do in that precise set. On the MIDI track, I have track 1 to 4 that control all the separate strips here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then I have track 5 that it's set up on MIDI channel 1, and sometime I can select, like as you see now, each channel has its own MIDI channel. So this is MIDI channel 1, MIDI channel 2, 3, and 4. But sometimes I decide to put all the channel on MIDI channel 5. that is on track 5. So I can put a sequence here that will play all of them. And that is interesting to do pads, to do like some kind of ambient work. Track 6 to 8 right now are going through into my Nord Drum 2, that it's a new addition to my live setup. I'm still learning it, but it's very, very powerful and fun to use. I also set up a lot of effects and stuff on my PC12. There's a video about that. I'm using some other effects on my mixer. I'm using the microcosm to add some interesting texture. But you can find this on my other video. Check it out. Today we just try to compose something. So whenever I start blank. So as you can see, nothing is going on. I like to use my first strip as a bass. The second one, most of the time, it could be the lead or the theme, like the kind of theme that always happen and define the track I'm doing. 3 and 4, it can be many things. Sometimes I use it as a percussive with the noise. Sometimes I use them as arpeggiator. And sometimes I just use the modulation, because you can modulate this track with the VCO of the track that is above it. So it can create very, very interesting noise and stuff. So let's just place something. Basically, whenever I start, maybe I will have some texture already going on. That, of course, could be useful, or just I use a finished track most of the time to just start my set. So I play that and then I fade it out while I'm placing trigs. So let's put some trigger and see what happens. Remember to add one trig on track 1 and 3, so the audio engine will start. Let's set tempo. I like 100, and let's go. So selecting track 1 is on channel 1, so it should trigger that guy. So this could be the start. I have maybe another track that is fading out. I mostly use C minor, so I try to keep my tuning always in the scale of C, so it's easier for me to know that I know the notes that I want to put, and also I quantize the note. I'll show you how. So, to put different notes, I just do with the knobs. Of course, if I had a keyboard, that would be easier, but it's more things to have, and I don't like the idea. So this is the first step. Of course, one trick that I use is to quantize on the arpeggiator page. You click twice and you can quantize the scale. So as you can see, all of my tracks are quantized on C minor. That is extremely helpful because I like the idea that I don't know what I'm doing, what kind of note I hear, and so I just go with the flow. But I know that no matter what notes I'm gonna put, it's gonna be quantized to C minor scale. So this is great. As you can hear, it works. So this is usually how I start. I can have a kick also, but let's just focus on this right now. When I find a nice bass line that I can play with, I will start thinking on the second track. So I select it, and this is all like very organic to me. So 1, trick that I like to use, it's select a different scale for each track. So you go scale mode per track, you set the master to infinite, and now I can decide track 2 is gonna be 15 step. What happened now is like every 16, the first one is 16 step, this is 15, so it creates this kind of polyrhythmic thing, and it's always evolving, and it's very interesting. Right now I would play with it a little, maybe I will start thinking it's time to get a kick, but we will put it later, because we want to suffer more. So, we can go now on track 3. I feel I want something that is repetitive and just 5 steps, so let me select 5-step length. Maybe we want an octave upper. Right now I can move the root of the notes that I place just with this knob. So the cool part is like everything will be quantized, so there's no wrong notes, and this is like the biggest help you can have. So at this point I know that I can just go with the flow. Add track 4. Track 4 can be there's the arpeggiator on, so let's add some length more, and let's add some more note. Now I would start thinking about a kick, because I feel we can add. So I have a kick chain here, so this chain has a lot of different sounding kick. It's gonna be probably 24, I don't remember. Let's start with a 4 on the floor. I like to keep my level down so I can fade in. Oh, first I have to activate the track. Hell yeah. As you see, right now we are already with a nice track, and what I'm trying to do here is not creating a masterpiece, it's not creating a full-blown EDM track, no. This is just like trying to figure out where's my mind at that precise moment, and build up something that follows the mood I'm in. So one time can be a nice, major, uplifting ambient piece. Sometimes can be a darker, moodier track like this one. At this moment, I would start using the microcosm and add some interesting microcosm goes into the room. Here, let's hear just it. This is what is adding right now. So at this point is like how you manage to do transition, and this can be in a lot of ways. You can use the filter, and play with effects and change. But of course, the hardest part is going from this one to a complete different sequence. What I found out, it's just like it's easier than I thought, and it's just thinking that this is a flow of conscience. So I focus on, let's say, one part of this that I want to keep going. For example, I can keep this. So I go back to track 1, that is my bass, and I will change it. Now, you can actually use the headphones to pre-listen what you're doing. So you might prepare something and then fade in. What I really like instead is just go with what happens. So I have an idea on placing the thing. Let's do something more rhythmic like this. Now I know that when I fade in, it's gonna be just C. So I can create something more stabby. And from now on, I have a new track to develop, so I can add different kick stuff. And from now on, the same. I will start building up on all the other. Of course, knowing that we are playing in C, it will help because I know that if I fade this back, they will be in tune. So, this is basically the foundation of my live performance. Now I'm also have the Nord drum. Sometime I had for percussion, but that will come in a new video. I will show how I use this one. But it's basically the same concept. It has 6 different tracks that I can play, I can sequence with different tracks. So basically, if you have any synth that has different tracks, different instrument, you can use this technique. Sometime what I like to do is start using the FO and FM and all the modulation that the Perfourmer has. This is an extremely powerful synth that not a lot of people really had the chance to know, and I think it's amazing. So things that I like to do is just like flip the switch, and as you can hear now, there's gonna be a modulation. And this is gonna lead this guy and this on the up. They're gonna be all linked. So basically all of these 4 channels will be intertwined. And you can hear from a very melodic kind of things that we had before. Now we are in a more techno, darkish territory. So now I will stay here for a while. I can add some more sample. I have just a selection of sample. Mostly is drum sample because I decided not to use a drum machine, so I limit what I have to bring to a live show. And some other sample are just ambient kind of sample. And that's set up as a true right now, probably for my Nord drum. Anyway, And here again, we are in a situation now calling for a change. Maybe now would be cool to sample these, have it going in the background. Let's try it. So I know that track 7 is my resampler. So I press yes. It's not set up. Okay. Place a trigger here. Here we are. So now it's recording. Here we are. So let's play it back. I set up scene 2 to play what has been recorded there. I like the first slice. So now we are listening to track 7, and we can mangle it. And we can juggle between what is these guys doing and what I just recorded. It could be interesting to create in transition. I love to use it just to do very, very weird things. So just go with the flow and whatever happens, like play with the pitch. See, you can create that, you can add back the kick if you want. And this is gonna be a new track, and I can stay on this one and play with effects for a while I deciding, okay, let's play now on a different way with this guy. Let's put all the track on MIDI channel 5. I will go on MIDI 5 here, and now I can play chords. So let's say I select the polyphonic way, and then when I engage, now I know, seeing here that has been triggered. See, the cool part is like if I trigger just 3 notes, it's gonna cycle and like once plays this 3, then this 3, then you know, different combinations. So it's interesting because you can create modulation and stuff. So then we can fade back. Now I have no clue what's gonna happen. Here we are. I know that a C minor chord is gonna be playing. And I can decide to tune down this one. Maybe I tune down the kick. When I do this kind of stuff, I like to add a shitload of reverb and effects. Something was out of tune because I was using the modulator. And now I can tune down the kick and the resampler. And now I can just have fun with a like more ambient situation. So this sometimes is how I start a setup. This is how I can end one. I like to go in, figure this is just one chord. So as you can see, this is just this chord, but it evolved every time because it changed the voice that is playing it, because this synth is awesome. So I can send this to my microcosm. Maybe use this. Let's use the glide. And now I will have a way to play with it. Add some reverb. And this would be a good way to end a set. So here it is. That's how I use these two guys together. So I don't actually need to have all of these other things. I could set up the Octatrack and the scene and the effects, the internal effects, to play with these and would be enough. Of course, in the situation I'm now, I can use many things. It's fun, and it gives me a lot of more creative possibilities. Also, yes, this is a kind of setup that works preferably with a sequencer like the Octatrack and any multi-timbral synth. If you have any synth that have you can split the voice, you can control them. I like the Vermona because it has 4 identical strips, so I can play in a different way with each other, and it's very beautiful during live. The moment you are in the flow and you really get into this machine, it's beautiful what it can do. But I can do the same with any other synth, like the Roland Boutique I tried, and it's pretty fun because they have 4 voices, so I can use the 4 voices, and there's a video showing how I create with splitting their voices. And in this case, in that case, you don't have a lot of control separately on each voice, so there's some compromise to take. But in multi-timbral synth, you can really have fun. Yeah, I think that's about it for today. I hope this was interesting for you. I'm gonna see you next week, I hope. And, well, have a great day. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Ciao.